The very first thing we do with the sprinkler system is locate where can we get a water line that is principal to the house. Water starts at the meter here, and then it goes inside the house to the main shutoff. In this particular case, we did an outside connection. So we found the water line going from the meter to the house. We went down, we did brass fittings, we did connections. In here we have two things. We have a brass shutoff device, and we have a winterization blowout. And this is where we blow the water out for the whole system every winter. Right here, we have hidden the backflow. It's right here. This is what protects your drinking water. Water will flow in one direction to the sprinkler, but not back into the drinking water. Each zone has a valve. So we need to find a good location that we have access to, and then that is attractive as best it can be, centrally located, generally on the left of the house. And this is just what turns the zones on. The wires tuck to the control box, and then the valves allow water to pass through for each zone. The second thing we're gonna do is basically we found a water line at the street that now we're gonna look to program the system through a control box. There's a lot of different control boxes out there. Rainbird makes one, Hunter makes one, Rakio makes one. There's a lot of different ones that interact with the phones. This is one that does. And once again, this is how we control how long to water each zone, what time, how often in a week. Okay, sprinkler systems are usually divided up into zones. Each zone will have a valve. Right here we have zone 1 for this house. It has about 6 or 7 different spray heads, and every spray head will spray anywhere from 4 feet to 18 feet. And the goal is to just softly water all the plants like rain. Each head, you can adjust the distance and actually the arc, how much the water sprays out. Everything's fully adjustable. And we can also do the distance right here. On this house, we're at zone 2. Zone 2 is the front grass. So we have 5 rotors here in the yard. Each head has been calibrated around the perimeter of the property to overlap in coverage, to cover the easement grass, and all rotors will spray anywhere from 20 feet to 35 feet. Right here is zone 3. This is the left side of the house. We're gonna wind around like a clock. All this is spray heads, and what we're gonna try and do is put a light amount of coverage to keep the ground cover from drying out, keep the rhipies being healthy. We'll generally water this side of the area because of the shade from the 2 houses, less in the front. Usually anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes for this area would be perfect. Over here we have zone 4. This is the back left sunny section of the house. So due to water pressure, water flow, and also sun conditions, we have separated this zone from this zone over here, which is more like shady perennials, ferns, and hostas. This zone we're gonna run probably 10 to 12 minutes. Each house is different. We have light coverage hitting all the lime lights, the catmint. We have the water in the garden. And once again, the important part to notice on this is we're gonna be separating the sunny sections from the shady sections. This is zone 5 for the different trees in the lot. If you really wanna make sure the trees get a nice heavy watering once a week, particularly in the hot season with new trees. Up here, we have an overhang, so it really doesn't get any natural rainfall. So deep in here, right on top of the root ball, we have a bubbler, which releases water at 0.25 gallons per minute. So it's the perfect application because it's right on top of the root ball, and you should put a heavy, about 1 inch of water, 2 inches of water on the root ball every week during the dry season. If you were to use a spray head here, especially on different types of evergreens, it's gonna hit the foliage and drop down, where the water we really need is here at the root ball. Right here, we're in the back right of my property, and we have a lot of shade with this big tree right here. So I was forced to go into a second zone, and it worked out well because this area is very shady, and the plants I have, stilbes, hostas, ground cover, with the amount of shade they're getting, I'm gonna put less water on this zone than I am the other zone that we looked at before. And once again, every yard's different, depending on the soil, depending on the plant conditions, but by separating this zone, we can control the amount of water for this area. We're at the backyard, particularly the back grass. We have 3 rotors along the back mulch line. They're all spaced out about 10 paces. They all overlap. Once again, they all spray 10 yards. We have about 9 rotor heads in this backyard due to water flow. Each head can rotate from a small angle of 20 degrees all the way to 360. The back ones, this one in the back left is doing a 90-degree rotation. This one is doing a 180, a 90, and then one in the middle will do a 360 rotation. And this is the first of the two zones, and I'll go through the second zone now for the back grass. Here is the second zone for rotors in the back. We have a rotor here, we have a rotor right here, and we have two more over here. Once again, they're all shooting approximately 10 yards, 30 feet, all overlapping coverage. In the middle of summer, we want to be watering about an inch a week. We don't get a lot of rainfall in July and August here, so we'll be watering 2 to 3 times a week. In heavily sunny areas, we're going to be watering probably anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes, twice, 3 times a week. This is the right side of the house. Once again, this is the last zone. When we do our designs, we usually start at the front beds, we go to the front grass, the left, the back, to the right. These are spray heads. We'll do usually, 12, anywhere from 8 to 12 spray heads, all placed out about 10 feet apart. And this is just getting the right side of the property. Once again, we need to separate this from the back grass because there's not enough flow to do both. And also, these are spray heads that spray anywhere from 4 to 15 feet, whereas a rotor is going to spray anywhere from 20 to 35 feet. And we need to make sure we do water flow systems under 12, 14 gallons per minute. We found that more and more of our customers are busy and it's harder to be home to meet us during the day. So what we've done is we built a software platform where we will send a measure out there to take photos of your property, and we can share a screen on the computer while you're at the office or while you're traveling, and we can review your needs, and our designers will create a design with you that's perfect for your property. So right here, we're looking at the property. We know this front grass is going to take 5 to 6 rotor heads, which is one zone. We're going to scroll down. I'm going to look at the plant types, how mature they are, the size. I'm going to pick what's the best application for watering it. Generally, the front bed will get its own separate zone to keep the water off the foundation, so that will be zone 2. This is the right of the house. This will be the last zone. We will also look at your plat that's online available, and we'll do measurements, but I can look at this and know this is probably 9 rotor heads, but I will double check my work with your plat. We're going to be looking at landscaping for the back. This is the left of the house. It'll generally be grass. Some people will do stepping stones to patio. This house has stepping stones. Landscaping behind the deck. So here we've pulled up the plat. We've done measurements. This is 52 feet to the driveway from the left property line. This is 35 feet from the sidewalk to the house. Another important measurement is basically the width of the back of the property, which is wider than the front because the driveway kind of cuts off the grass, and from the back of the house to the back property line. So using that with the photos, we can construct a very accurate design for you and give you a design while you're traveling or while you're at the office.